Hello everyone, how's it going today? Thought I would do a quick update on the newest base, and this is for Excalibur's July challenge, and I think I'm going to be calling it the Waypoint Compound. Haven't fully decided that yet, but this is the particular building. I briefly showed it once before when it was kind of under construction. It's pretty much fully finished now. Now on this particular version I have it equipped with all parts, and I'm going to have to strip out a lot of the parts to make it a level 10 requirement, and of course I would like to keep it not having rare resources. Now on the design itself, the concepts on this was I wanted to make a no frills, very functional Alpha 10 base, and that's kind of what this is all about. Now, if you notice the structure itself, it's more of a box. It's not too wavy and complicated like some of the other things around. But I did a lot of this for protection, and also I needed to run, well, wanted to run a lot of big solar panels on it. So on the exterior, just to kind of go over the design of this, in each corner you have a very low gun, which can also shoot across each side of the base to the other side. Now on the ramp side here, it might be a little bit tricky, um, but if anything came close to the base, I believe it would be shot. And what I was trying to avoid, and of course I'm going to have to test this yet, but I think it'll work. I hope it'll work. Is, when those Alpha 10 people get close, if they do get close, they like to get right next to your base and then do their little thing and steal your core. A really bad idea. Well, it's bad if they do that to you. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. Um, in this case, if the guns are loaded and operational, you've got two sentry guns on each corner that can also shoot along the edges of the base, as well as, of course, these four lower gun mount points. And then up top, currently I have four additional rocket launchers to take out drones and other things. But these lower turrets could also shoot those things, especially from a distance. So now going in this base here, let me get out of God mode a minute. I really tried to do quite a bit with the inside. Um, Although the base is pretty simplistic on the exterior and very symmetrical looking, the inside is completely asymmetrical. Um, Trying to maximize space and give it just a ton of functionality for what it is. Now, the fully equipped version, of course, it has offline protection, has a T2 repair console, um, every little nook and cranny, like it has crafting power, switches, quite a lot of ammo storage. 56K is a lot. Um, and then, of course, your armor repair and armor locker and a full suite of medical stuff, O2. You got some hanger side fridge and food processor. This is a place for a shield. Has two forge locations. Three constructors, advanced constructors in here right now, and some additional cargo boxes up top. Also has three 320K storage units over here, two deconstructors, uh, quick access to fuel and O2 both here and on the other side, and then a pentaxid tank. And notice how the pentaxid tank is set back in. I did that on purpose again so you wouldn't get any heat or radiation from it. So that's pretty much the first floor of this building. Now on the core is actually located below the floor over here, below this armored glass, and protected with a bunch more concrete and things over there. So, and it's kind of off to the side. I kept it away from the storage. I guess if this base got hit hard enough and they managed to blow out the wall or whatnot and get the core. It shouldn't destroy any of your storage or crafting items. You might lose your med bay over here, but that's about it. And there's two doors out the front here. One just goes outside. Kind of asymmetrical on how that works too. And the other is an elevator. Now there's two ways to get up. Of course you can take the elevator, or around over here on the side you have a staircase that just kind of leads you up to this floor, which there's not much here. Some windows to look outside, but then this goes into the farm, and it's got a 36 grow plot farm up here and a couple more fridges and a food processor. And then continuing on, gets up into the engineering area. Now this, it's got room for a lot more pieces. I just didn't put a lot in, and I'm not sure exactly what I want to have it come stock with. I want to keep it somewhat cheap, but currently it just has a small generator that's actually kind of embedded underneath this area, and that's why I've got these blocks to keep you out of there so you won't get heat or radiation from the little generator. It's just a, I don't know, even a small generator. It's not even a T1. But I do have a location for a T1, and I'm not sure if you need it or not for a shield with a base. It's different with a CV. You can kind of see your power drain and things like that. When I turn on the shield in this base, it does hit 100% power usage, but I don't know if you need more power than what it's got. Everything seems to work. Now, one thing I do like about this base is the solar. The solar panels are very effective on how they're positioned across the top of the base. Here, I'm gonna get up there a minute. And this basically goes out to the landing pad. Let me get in my God mode a minute here. And yeah, on a nice sunny day, of course, there's solar panels in all directions, and depending on where you're at, they get pretty good juice. Now, this side here is a little bit weaker than the other side, probably because the sun's on that side right now, but I think it'll work out pretty good. Cost-wise, fully equipped, it has about a 2.5 hour production time, and of course it's using some rares in here because of the parts I have in there right now. But once I strip a lot of this stuff out, I imagine this time's going to go down, as well as the rear resource needs of the base. Well, that's the goal, at least. I got to see how this is all going to work out. Right now it looks like it's using an incredible lot of cobalt and things like that, but that's going to drastically reduce once I pull out all the rare pieces and probably put up markers for that. A couple other things in the works, and I also showed this too. I've got to get this up to the workshop and update the MX-15 blueprint. But this is about finished. I got to spend probably about another 20-30 minutes with it and rig up a couple things, and I want to do a little bit more with the interior. Probably get a little bit of color in here, and I got to do the lights and stuff again. And other than that, everything's placed. So there'll be a new MX-15. Well, kind of new. I didn't do anything massive to this. I did kind of retexture the exterior some, changed a few blocks around, and then put most of the time and effort redoing the interior to get it up to Alpha 10 standards. And it will have a shield as well. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. Now, questions on this particular base. A couple things. One, material. Now, my thought is I want to go with hardened concrete. Currently, it is set in concrete. Now, it's got a 2.5 hour build time in concrete, and like the floor and non-critical areas are still wood on the bottom. I disguise that pretty good so you don't see it, but so I just wanted to see if anybody thinks it ought to be cheap, or should it be more effective and tougher, and it's going to affect the cost of it. I mean, it's all set up, and I could convert this very, very quickly, and I was actually planning on doing that, I just wanted to see if anybody would think it would be better more of as a starter base. I guess I'm gearing this one towards kind of a mid-level base. It's pretty big. I mean, as you can tell, compared to the Waypoint farm, it's actually a little bit bigger than that. And the smaller starter bases like the boat over here is quite small compared to this one. But then, of course, the other ones are quite a bit bigger. So other than that, I plan on releasing this tomorrow to the workshop. Just a full release, public, so it'll be out there and available. And I might also try to get this out the door too. I keep forgetting about it. I've been sitting on it for a very long time now, and this is just a little quick deploy 5 turret with some solar defense point. And all this is kind of, all these pieces I try to make so they all work together, look like they're all the same faction and everything like that. So this is just the newest addition to that. And that's why I gave it a Waypoint name again, because most of these all kind of fit with that same theme, starting with the original Waypoint station, which was made quite a while ago now. Next week, I mean at this time, I'm going to get back to the aliens. I'm going to get cracking on that alien CV. I'm also going to get the alien base up to friends only on the workshop for now. And that's just about ready. I still have to convert the signs over to English instead of gibberish. But other than that, it's about all set. So one last thing, I like this other, I would call it a fire base. I really like the looks of it. But I haven't continued with it because function-wise, I don't know what to do with it. It's not a hangar. It's not going to have. It doesn't have room for a hangar. It doesn't have landing pads. It could have a farm and crafting and all that stuff inside it, but I don't know really what to do with something like this. I mean, it doesn't have some of the base function I like to put in, like most bases and things, you know. But then again, it was a lot of fun because I actually didn't have to make a big rectangle for a hangar, and I could actually kind of design the body more uniquely, which I think is kind of fun and looks nicer than what I typically do with a big flat roof for landing pads and big hangars, which make big rectangles. And this one, I didn't even bother to try to angle it and make it all funky because I was going for cost and price and function. If you notice, this also didn't have any fluff in it, so there's no crew quarters, there's no bathrooms, there's no showers. It doesn't have any of that. This is just pure gameplay base. I don't know if most of you like that better, or do you like a little fluff in the stuff? That almost rhymes. But sometimes I just, I just want to go for function only. When I first started playing this game, I was all about function. Later on, when I think it was the Cerberus, the original Cerberus PSV that was got reviewed on from Mr. Spicy, and he said something that was like lacking beds and showers and not very good for gameplay because of it. And I'm just like, and at the time I was just like, huh? What do you mean? I mean, this is all about gameplay. That's all I was thinking about when I built this thing. Well, and some looks. But later, with the larger ships, I did start putting in some fluff and lounges and crew quarters and things like that, but only if I've got space. This base, every inch of this space is used up with space, and there's just no room to put that stuff in there, so I wasn't really planning on it anyway. I just wanted this base to work, and that's it, and be as cheap as it could. So just to recap, I just want to know if you agree with me, if this should be hardened concrete. Now, the reason why I go with concrete on bases particularly is because everything else requires iron, or well, I'll say steel. Everything does. Your HVs, your SVs, your CVs. Bases are the only things that can use concrete. And concrete, hit point wise, especially the hardened concrete, is the same as combat steel. But concrete's extremely plentiful, very easy to get, especially if you got a miner. you could mine any. I could dig a hole right in the ground right here and get enough materials to build this base. And that's the whole point. And I don't like using concrete because I don't like the texture selection on it, especially for this faction. Now with the alien faction, which I don't have out here right now, it works out pretty good because I managed to use a lot of the textures with the concrete for aliens. But on this race, no, it limits it, and I don't particularly like to build stuff out of concrete. So, but it's just, to me, it makes more sense, you know. I'd rather have you save your iron for other things, and pretty much anything else besides a base. So that's the deal on that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick little look, and if you got any comments, recommendations, anything you'd like to see done, I'm going to probably put another about a half hour of time into the space and just kind of give it a once over and a kind of final detail inspection, see if I'm missing anything. If you happen to see anything that you think could be improved or changed, please let me know, and I will see what I can do about that if it's a good suggestion. Other than that, one last thing, you see the LCD things I've got going on here. This was kind of experimental. I wanted to see how it would turn out and what I could do with projecting LCDs over surfaces. And I'm not sure, I don't think I'm going to keep this as any kind of standard of doing this kind of thing going forward. It was, but I think it's kind of a neat effect, and I wanted to give it a whirl and see what I could do with doing that kind of thing. Well, anyway, you all have a good day, and I will see you later.